Hello YouTubies, this is Freddy Hotes and thank you for watching this YouTube video. I want to talk about a thing that happened to me many years ago, and it's something that's just triggered my memory. There's been a lot of talk online about how many dead bodies have been pulled out of the Manchester Canal. But I completely forgot about one experience I had that stopped me running along the canal at night. It wasn't gangs, by the way, but there was something a little bit very spooky that I found about on a Worsley stretch of the canal. Now, 70 bodies have been found along that stretch of canal since 2008. Also, the big Manchester Canal. They all seem to be connected anyway. And for some reason, the police have, just pushed it aside. But I agree with many of the people in the alternative scene and also the professor at a certain university who deals with crime and psychology that there is indeed a serial killer working along the canal system. And I live in Manchester itself. And I also live close by to the canal system. Right. And I've also been somebody who has jogged along the Manchester Canal system at night. But something happened to me many years ago. It may have been up to 10 years ago, by the way. So this is a long time ago. It was around about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I think it was either 2 o'clock in the morning, about 3-ish. It was very early. And I had gone shopping in Tesco's right across the other side of town because I had walked from somewhere in Trafford all the way down to Walkden and came back through the Worsley route and along the canal system. It's not really a great place to actually walk along at night. It's also a little bit risky because you are literally putting your hands in your own you're literally putting your life in your own hands because you never know who's going to be walking along that canal. But because of all the death tolls that have happened on the canal system and because of what happened, what they're talking about the gay village and certain age categories being killed along that canal system, I need to actually mention something that happened to me along that canal system that I completely forgot about. Many years ago, when I was coming back from Tesco's, and I was sort of jogging and stopping and jogging again, because I was quite a good jogger by then. I mean, I was somebody who could easily jog on the top speed of a treadmill for quite some time, so I was no slow couch. Anyway, in the distance, there was this boat coming up towards me, creeping, and on it was this very creepy guy. I can't remember the exact age of this guy, but he gave me the creeps. I mean, he was sort of, it was almost like seeing a ghost along the canal system, and this boat creeping up towards you, like this. It's creeping up towards you and coming alongside, and you're thinking, I don't like the look of this person, and they're just keeping their eye on you all the time. Intensely. Too intensely. Almost like a killer would. Almost like a psychopath would. Now, me knowing something about psychopaths now, that brought on a memory because this guy had the chill factor of 100%. Right? And this, it's so surreal in the dead of fucking night. While you're coming along this canal system, which is really dark and completely cut out of the rest of society. I mean, it's miles from basically anywhere, and this little canal boat, this canal boat, is really creeping up towards you with this creepy dude on. It's really disconcerting. Anyway. I pretended sort of to not notice him much because he was giving me the creeps, and I certainly didn't trust him. And I just carried on jogging. And he looked, and then he thought, he carried on going. But I have a feeling he wanted to actually stop me there, but he couldn't actually do it. I mean, he could always try to climb off the boat and chase after me, but good luck with somebody who can actually run close to a 4 minute mile. You might have trouble catching me on your little fucking canal boat. Here is the crux of what scared the shit out of me. A few days later, I think it was a few days later, or it was that same night. In the morning, they discovered a body in the canal along that stretch. Now, it could have been dumped at any time during the night. And I told this to friends ages ago. I said, that fucking creeped the shit out of me. Because there was this little fucking canal boat coming past me. And I was jogging along it. And there was this creepy fucking dude on it. You know, is it possible that he was part of it? I said, no, it's probably a suicide. And I thought nothing of it. Until recently, my memory was triggered when I was along the canal doing some jogging of why I stopped doing that. And I remembered that canal boat traveling along in the middle of the night when nobody around and just creeping up towards you. It's so disconcerting, especially with the creep on the boat. And if you're half-wit, if you're not somebody who is well in tune with your surroundings, you could find yourself in a lot of trouble very quickly. But luckily nothing happened. But it was almost like watching a ghost, basically. His face was like a ghost. And the canal boat itself was just so slow and very silent. I mean, if you were turning your back walking the opposite way, it's like you wouldn't hear it coming. All right. Now, here's my problem with this. Here is the crux, right? You've got all these dead bodies being chucked in the canal, right? And it's not happening anywhere else but Manchester scene. And that experience creeped the shit out of me, but I forgot about it because it happened like 10 years ago, right? And a body was found in the canal. We're thinking suicide. That's what they said, right? So I think, okay, it was suicide. And then 10 years later, all this happens in the area where they find bodies all the time, and a professor links it to perhaps something's happening. And suddenly, I remember why I stopped jogging on the canal, especially when I started to do it again. I thought, hang on, I just remembered that. Why did I forget? But you got to remember, it happened a long time ago. What if that was a killer? What if my instincts, my intuition said, get the fuck out of there? That person is creeping up on you. It's a predator in the environment. You got to be very careful. That's why you actually feel like that. And what if that person just thought, there's no way I can catch him? Because I was actually kind of fit back then. I mean, it's really difficult to catch somebody 6 foot odd who doesn't fucking trust you and is also willing to fight back. I would rate his chances without a gun as very, very slim in taking me on. I mean, I would rate it very slim, but it's just the way that boat was creeping up. It was almost like it's like a predator going to take you out by surprise. And I completely forgot about it. I'm surprised now that I completely forgot about it, especially since a body was found just a fucking day later. And then people said, no, it was a suicide. And I completely fucking forgot about it. Thanks to all the good work that the police do in the environment. That's very strange. I don't understand why I completely forgot about that until recently. And it was, I've lived close by to the canal for a very, very long time. And after listening to people like Thomas on the radio, I thought, hang on a minute. I've just remembered something. And then I completely fucking forgot about it for years and years and years. That could actually be good evidence. What if The guy who is doing all this killing owns a canal boat and is inviting people from the gay village in the canal boat where they're safe. I mean, who's going to notice anybody getting drugged on a canal boat? You can do anything you like in a canal boat. You can do the chloroform business, and you can dump the body along the canal whenever you want to, when nobody's looking, right? And maybe that person who was creeping up in front of me was trying to make sure he disturbed me enough so I wouldn't actually notice what he was up to. Or maybe he already did it and he was sort of petrified. That's why the ghostly expression on his face, you see. And I completely ignored it many years ago simply because of what happened in the newspaper later. Somebody said, you didn't see anything along that canal when you were there, did you? And I said, well, no, there's just a canal, a person on the canal. I said, oh, there's people on the canal doing the canal boat, but somebody, committed suicide along it. I said, no, I didn't see anything like that. It must have been done later on in the morning. What happens if it wasn't a suicide? What happens if that kid was actually drugged and then thrown into the canal? What happens if that happened? I mean, these things happen. People have jogs of memory. The memory suddenly comes up. I don't know. I mean, it's thinking about that now. That's actually evidence. That I mean, I can't really give a proper description of what the guy looked like, but he was driving a canal boat towards Worsley, right? That really cuts it down, doesn't it? What happens if the person who did it owns a canal boat in Worsley Village? What happens if that's the case? We're really cutting it down now, aren't we? So this sort of thing needs to be chased up on. I have to have a think about this because I don't understand how I actually fucking forgot about it in the first place, because that is key evidence. If there is a serial killer along the Manchester Canal, and it is along that canal stretch, I mean, because the one running from Worsley has its own route, but it does actually end up in the Manchester Canal as well. It does actually end up there. But there's also been bodies found elsewhere too. There's not just there. But if a person owns a canal boat, they can literally have easy access along the canal system, dump bodies there, and just ride off in their little fucking canal boats, and nobody would even notice. I actually think, I think that the guy who's doing the serial killing in the Manchester Canal situation owns a canal boat. It might not be in Worsley. He might just be driving through. But, who owns a canal boat in Manchester? I mean, also the canal system extends for miles and miles and miles. I mean, it really goes far into inland. So it's not quite that simple. But it does actually change what we're actually looking for, because it would make sense. What better safe house to have if you're a killer on the Manchester Canal place than to have a canal boat? It just makes perfect sense. Anyway, what do you guys think? I mean, is my experience there just imagined when I was there? Maybe I found, being in a dark place with a canal boat sneaking up and me jogging past, nothing really happened. Is that just my intuition going off at the wrong key, or is the fact that a body was found along that stretch of canal the day later, evidence against that? I mean, I have to have a think about what I'm going to do with that, because I think there's something there. I really do. I think something God's going on, and I think that there is a serial killer with a canal boat there. That's what I actually think. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. See you later. Bye bye.